As COVID-19 endures in putting the world on its knees, it has brought tremendous effects to livelihood. In Uganda, every person struggles differently to make ends meet. Persons with disabilities who have already gone through a lot to beat the barriers along their way. COVID-19 came in as another shock to them.
By names of Inamucha Kennedy, I'm working as a taxi conductor around Kampala. Before COVID-19, I was working, I was looking myself for a tuition. Nali nyenonyeza tuition nga nsoma. Naye kati okuva COVID-19 lwe yatandika, tuition anayintegeseeko namukozesa.
Namigade Robina, a foodstuffs vendor, equally has nothing good to speak about COVID-19 after leaving her wondering for what to eat. She was operating a food stall, but due to COVID-19, a total lockdown was announced and she used what she had at the time for survival.
Nali nkola nga ninawo akadaala k'ennyaanya, ndagala n'amatooke, naye okusinziira ku bulwadde buno bwe bwajja nemba nga sikyakola.
Robina narrates that they were not only affected economically, but due to the nature of their skins, they regularly visit healthy facilities for checkup and treatment. This is normal due to lack of proper means of transport.
Okusoomoozebwa kwe tusanga olw'emibiri gyaffe tegisobola ngeri ya musana, tetukyasobola kutuukawo, entambula nzibu nnyo, ate ffe amaaso gaffe engeri gye gatalaba bulungi, ffe twalinga okusinga tukozesa entambula ya boda boda, kubanga boda boda akujja awaka era n'akutuusa waka, akujja awaka n'akutuusa mu ddwaliro, n'akulindayo n'omala ofuna eddagala lyo, ate oluvannyuma n'akuzza awaka. Naye kati entambula yazibuwala, boda boda tezikyaweeka bantu, ate emmotoka entambula eri ku bbeeyi nnene nnyo, ate tutuuka mu ddwaliro abasawo bali nnyo ku bya covid, kati ffe abatalina covid baate batuliiko nnyo.
With the COVID-19 pandemic, we were greatly affected that we had to close offices because we would not have the public means or the transport means to come to office. Neither would our members come. So this key drug, I call it that because it's really a drug, though a lotion, is a life-saving lotion to people with albinism. The COVID-19 pandemic has really distracted our work. First and foremost, people with albinism are challenged by the sun.
Before COVID-19, they still had challenges, but not to this magnitude.
Ebiseera ebyo nali nkola at least bw'ogenda n'okola oyinza kufunayo omutwalo gumu kitundu per day. And so ezo sente bw'oba saving at least bw'oba otereka mutwalo, a month you can get emitwalo nga 3 awo n'ogatagattako n'ofuna tuition. So kindabikira okusoma kwange kujja kunsumbuwaba, nyinza obutasobola okufuna tuition okusoma kunaatandikira.
Ebintu byange byali bitambula bulungi kuba nafunayo n'ekkataka n'enzimbako akayumba, naye olw'okuba nti covid yajja nemereddwa sikyalina nsimbi.
Disability organizations are equally concerned about the dire need to come up with practical interventions to remedy the situation. Edison Ngirabakunzi, the Executive Director of the National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda, an umbrella body of all disability organizations, says it's high time government starts thinking of an economic stimulus package for persons with disabilities.
Those who have been involved in economic enterprises, they have already collapsed. Enterprises have collapsed. People who have been earning from hand to mouth are already being affected. So they are trying to cope with the little they have, but already they have eaten their capital, the number of interacted with across the country, and we find that it's going to be very, very difficult for them to come up even the post-COVID interventions. So that's why we think as a way of coping up, the initial discussions of any economic stimulus package should be highly inclusive of disability debates and interventions that ensure that our people, who are now more than 6 million people with disabilities in the country, are not left behind.
Section 17 of the Persons with Disabilities Act, an employer who employs 10 or more employees with disabilities is entitled to a tax refund of 15% that has now been reduced to 2% of all the payable taxes. This is a great legal provision given by Parliament to employers in the name of employing persons with disabilities. However, under the current situation due to the COVID-19, persons with disabilities are most likely to be very much affected in terms of employment. Abdul Latif Mukasa for Record TV.